it's time for a new FAQ, and you can check the list of questions in the description, and I would add the time when it starts. So, first question is, what are your thoughts on calorie deficit? Well, it works short term if you can actually do it, but long term it will cause people problems, especially in women, because women's hormone system is different and is more vulnerable to bad things like starving, lack of nutrition, and consequences will be yo-yo effect, rebound. While men can get away with some of that stuff if they're reasonable, but they're not immune to problems from calorie deficit. What I promote is eating enough, and on a high-carb low-fat diet you might need more than enough theoretically in order to get your needs met. That's because your metabolism gets faster and your body wastes sugar away. And now you'll tell me, okay, but how do you lose weight if you don't do a calorie deficit? Well, you do a fat deficit. A fat deficit. That's why I eat so little fat. I don't want to get fat, but I like to eat as much as I want, so that's how I do it. It's certainly more enjoyable than eating little and having low energy, right? And what about exercise? Well, it helps, but the most efficient way to lose fat is to eat less fat. Alright, next question. I'm dizzy eating only fruit and plain boiled potatoes. Why? That's because you were used to eat salt and suddenly you eat no more salts and your body doesn't retain enough salt, that's why. So I would suggest you add salt to your diet. You can add salt to your potatoes at every dinner, or salt to your rice or your pasta. Sodium is a very important mineral that we need in order to have the bloodstream circulating strongly enough. And let's say you sweat a lot and you don't eat enough salt, you're going to feel weak, dizzy, and you're going to blame the potatoes and the fruit, but you should add some salt to your cooked starches. Think about it. We have taste buds specific for sodium. We can taste it when it's salty. That's because the body wants it in order to have a level of blood pressure that's sufficient. So salt is not bad. It's bad when you eat a lot of it. I will show you a chart that Dr. McDougall talks about. It's a sweet spot of having a little of sodium, not too much, not zero, but just a sweet spot. And the more you sweat, the more you need salt, sodium. I know some of you are tempted by the SOS diet. No salt, no sugar, no oil. Well, no oil is a great idea, but no sugar and no salt, man, you're setting yourself up for failure. I don't do SOS diet because I don't want to feel weak. I want my body to be strong and not lack of this electrolyte, sodium. Maybe you've seen my days when I don't eat any salt. I do it sometimes when on the previous day I ate way too much salt, and then I give my body a break in order to get rid of the big excess salt. Because if I eat too much salt, I feel super puffy, but no worries, because the body is going to get rid of the excess thanks to sufficient hydration. Okay, next question. Why do you choose to eat cooked food for lunch sometimes instead of doing RawTill4, RawTill dinner? Well, sometimes I don't have ripe fruit at home and then I eat starches because it's fine. You know, I'm organized, but I'm not 100% perfect with organizing my fruit, and sometimes fruit need 1 or 2 extra days in order to get ripe. So that's it. But usually I do RawTill4. That's my normal day, RawTill4. Please talk about discipline for staying high-carb, low-fat. Oh, that's a big one. And everybody has their different weaknesses, some greasy foods that they used to like. And I can give you a few tips, like going shopping when you're satisfied, when you have eaten, because going to shop when you're hungry, it's probably not going to work. You're probably going to grab the things that you used to like, but that are not high carb, low fat. Maybe you're going to grab this chocolate or this peanut butter or this ice cream, I don't know, this vegan cheese. And tip number 2 is having always a lot of fruit and vegetables. I don't even have many here, but I go shopping often and I don't have problems with discipline now. But if you're initially struggling with discipline, you should clearly have lots of bananas at home, lots of rice. I don't know, what are the fruits in season at your place at the moment? just get a lot of them, this nice fruit, and you wouldn't want them to rot away and waste your money in fruit that start fermenting. It's not nice, so I think you're going to eat them before they get bad. Or maybe you don't think like me, but I really dislike wasting food. I'm really not proud of myself when I waste food. I really avoid getting to that point. And of course, you need to buy high-carb, low-fat foods that you enjoy. So take as much time as you need to check different high-carb, low-fat recipes and then cook that all the time. And what about socializing? Okay, this one can be tricky, but what I do is I prefer to socialize with people out of meal times. Like taking a walk with a friend in the afternoon, if they don't eat like me, but if they like to eat high-carb, low-fat foods, I will eat with them. Another tip would be never let yourself go undercarb for too long, because if you get low, very low on your carb reserves, in your glycogen reserves, then this is when it gets dangerous. This is when you'll feel attracted to these greasy foods too strongly, and it's going to be hard to resist. So make sure you snack between meals when you're hungry on high carb, very low fat foods. Okay, this one is watermelon juice. I've added some sugar, and make sure I don't go hungry for too long. If I feel hungry, I make it my priority to make food and get it in the belly. And if I have something important to do at work, well, I eat in front of my computer. I'm at home. I'm 4 meters away from the fridge. So yes, okay, I need discipline, but not too much. Staying carved up is very important. Next question, does rice cause constipation? It does in people that are dehydrated, that eat zero fiber otherwise. But if you eat your rice with a bit of vegetable, or if you had fruit previously during the day, then rice is not going to constipate you. By the way, even white rice contains a bit of fiber. It's not really a processed food, it's just a food that doesn't have its shell. You know, when you eat a banana, you don't eat the peel, and for the rice, it's the same. You eat the inside, the good part, and you throw away the hard fiber shell, And also, I'm not sure of what you mean when you ask if white rice is constipating. If you're used to poop 5 times a day, then adding white rice and removing some fruit, okay, it will make you poop less times, maybe 3 times, maybe 2 times, I don't know. But let's say you're an omnivore and you're eating at McDonald's and doing that kind of things, and you start eating white rice and a bit of vegetables, it's going to be good for you. It's going to be much better than eating this crap from McDonald's. White rice is healthy, and that's why it's my #1 starch at home. Next question, do you take omega-3 supplements and why? No, I don't, because I know it's useless. And what is important is to have the best ratio of omega-3, omega-6. And I already achieved that by eating a lot of fruit and some green vegetables. So it's so easy. Just eat enough calories every day from fruit, and omega-3s are never a problem. And last question, don't you rinse your rice? I almost never rinse my rice. Okay, I admit it could be useful to rinse the rice to remove some dust, but I'm not interested in removing the starch that's floating in the water. Well, I know that rinsing that starch could give a better texture, but I don't find this improvement that great, so I don't do it. I don't care to have some starch floating around in my rice. Actually, starch is calories from carbs, so why would I remove it? I don't want to lose money by removing all that starch. Maybe you noticed that I like to keep things simple, because I like to focus on other things than perfect diet. Okay, that's all. I'm going to drink my juice now and start working, and I see you soon. Feel free to ask more questions here and I will check the comments. Ciao!